This episode in the Artist in Paris Diaries is sponsored by me. I recently released the 4th journal in my affirmation journal series, Vulnerability is My Superpower, and for the entire month of December, to wish everyone a happy holidays, I'm offering 10% off all of my journals in the affirmation series, as well as my creativity workbook, I Love Being Sensitive. So I will link the journals down below if you're interested in gifting one to a friend for the holidays, or if you just want a beautiful journal for the new year. So thank you guys so much, and let's get back into the video. Good morning. Oh my gosh, I look literally insane. I look like I'm from like some futuristic TV show. Hold on, let me put you guys down. I want to like sit. Hello, sweet angels of the internet. So this morning I'm actually going to be teaching a performance workshop. It's the first time that I've ever tried to do like a performance online. And I've worked with this group of students one time before. We're working around the Instaplay, and I'm really trying to, explore more about like creating community online, creating like group projects. I'm talking fast because it's gonna start in like 15 minutes. But basically, the idea is that during our workshop today, I had them dress up and each bring one object, and then they got to choose 4 lines from the Instaplay. The Instaplay is a monologue that I've written with my community on Instagram, and once the performance starts, we just have to say those 4 lines and try to like work together with our object. And the object that I brought is a stethoscope. And the reason why I brought the stethoscope is because I bought this last year because I feel like whenever you feel anxious or whenever you feel ungrounded, just like listening to your heartbeat, it honestly is such like a simple thing, but it just makes you so grateful to be alive. So I'm excited to see how it's gonna go. I feel like I look so crazy in this dress. It's very much like an 80s prom dress. But I just feel so grateful recently to have so many opportunities to like teach. It's something that I'm super passionate about, and which is why I love making videos as well. So I'm gonna try and film some of it. Hopefully I won't have any like technical difficulties. As well as yesterday, a dream came true for me, and I got a piano. I grew up with in homes that always had a piano in it. So for me, like a house without a piano, it's like the piano brings a certain soul to the home, My mom had a piano growing up, my grandma, and it would have made more sense for me to get like an electric piano, but my heart just wants to wake up and have an instrument that I don't need to plug in and just, so I'll tell you about it in another vlog, but I'm just on a high from that because I never thought it would be possible to have like an actual piano in my home in Paris. And so, I don't know, it's just a good week, so anyway. Also, I definitely fucked up my makeup. When you have like 10 minutes and you're like, let me do my makeup real quick. But I don't know, whatever, fuck it. Honestly, what's cool about like Zoom screens is you can't really tell. So, yeah. A little affirmation. If I have a desire in my heart, it's there for a reason. All of my dreams are coming true, or better. Don't forget the or better, because sometimes the universe likes to sprinkle in a little bit of magic extra, and we love that. Thank you. Also, I posted about this on my Instagram stories, but I want to say it here as well, just to put it out there. I had someone actually message me and be like, can you come talk at my school next year? I'd love to have you come as like, a sort of like drop-in teacher or do a talk. And honestly, you guys, I'm so down for that. I know that like schools usually have like a budget every year where they can invite certain artists. So if you want to like nominate me, I would love to come talk at your school or do workshops. I just think it's the most fun. I also know, as somebody who finished art school a few years ago, that I always really appreciated when my school invited people who maybe didn't finish school that long ago and who are familiar with like what it's like to try to be like a artist today now, So if you want to, you can nominate me, send me an email, and I would love to do that. The workshop ended up going super well on Zoom, and it was the first time, like I said, that I ever did a performance like that. I didn't end up getting any video from that experience, but I did film some of the first workshop where we dressed up, and I had them film themselves for the Insta play. So I'll show you guys some of that because it was really cute, and we also worked on making music online. After that, this week, my friend had a little Thanksgiving get-together, which was really cute. I think that as somebody who is a foreigner, it's important to try to keep certain traditions alive. I also saw the live show of my friend who is visiting from Canada, and that was really sweet. There was like a bunch of cats in the bookshop, and later in the week I also did music myself, and I sit down with you guys and just have a rant about a lot of different things, so enjoy. You guys, I got the master back for my next song that I'm gonna put out. In the last video, I was telling you guys how I was like so disappointed because I got my song mixed by somebody and I didn't like what they did. And it's just annoying every time trying to find like mixing engineers that like get your vision. And so I ended up mixing it with my friend who's co-producing it and who's singing on it with me. It's a duet, and it's like such a beautiful song. I'm so proud of it. And then I just got the master back, and so we're ready to go. Like, we're ready to put it out there. I'm so excited. And I was going to release it like the 16th of December, but the reason why I'm not going to do that is because I'm going to see my family for the first time in 2 years, and I really didn't want like to release the song on the day that I take the airplane and then basically the whole time that I'm there like doing stuff for the release and all that. Like, I just feel like if I were to release it in December, it would be because of like a lack mindset, because it has been a while since I released music, so it would be cool to put it out in December. But I'm gonna release it in January, and I'll let you guys know when it's pre-savable. But it's definitely like the song that I think is the most touching of mine, and it's in French and in English, which I think is really important to me because as I do speak both languages, I'm constantly going in between the two. And I've had a lot of people tell me that it's not necessarily a good idea to make bilingual songs because, you know, the French people don't necessarily understand the English, and the English people don't really necessarily understand the French. But we don't play by the rules over here, you know? I feel like I didn't get this far in what I'm doing to just do what everyone else is doing, you know? Like, I want to do things that are fun and exciting to me. So today I'm working on another song, and yeah, I'm just doing vocals today. I feel like recently as well, I've been really trying to branch out in new directions as far as like my career goes. Tomorrow I am going to be teaching. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think that I'm a good teacher, and that's why I think I love YouTube so much, and I think it'll be good to see how I enjoy being in a classroom setting, especially because these kids are like my age. And I never thought that when I finished art school like this soon after, I'd be like in the classroom teaching. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm not nervous, but it is like, she said something, because it's basically how I got this gig is there's this girl there who is an artist named Judith Deschamps, and she is doing her doctorate, and so part of doing her doctorate is you have to teach a class, and she wanted me to come as like, to give a workshop basically. And she was basically telling me like, you need to find a way to get the kids excited. And I don't like saying kids because they're probably like my age. You need to get them excited and interested in what you're doing. And I feel like that's something I'm pretty good at. Like, for example, when I was in high school, I was really bad at sports. Like, I did cheerleading and I did soccer, and
I just kind of tried out everything when I was in high school, but I would never get picked for the team because I was actually good. I would always get picked for the team because I would just have like excited energy. And I think that that's something that I try to always remember, is whatever project you're working on, it's more about the energy that you create around that project rather than the project itself, you know? Like, I think you could use that for example for anything. It's like, say somebody loves airplanes. If they're like, yeah, I love airplanes, you're like, cool. But if they're like, oh my god, I love airplanes, let me tell you about this last model, you're like, yeah, tell me about this airplane, you know? And so I think whatever we can get excited about is the direction to go in. And that's what I try to always remember with my art, is like, I think that's also why it's been so fun working with a producer like in the studio, is because we'll like go into his kitchen and like get pots and pans and just like start banging them together to make like a cool like triangle or just different things like that. So very exciting things happening. I just got asked as well to be a part of a round table at the Gaieté Lyrique in January, which is really cool because Arte is celebrating their 400th episode of L'Atelier Art, which is basically this documentary that I was a part of. And so I'm going to be a part of this artist roundtable. I've been applying for residencies in Paris. I want to do a residency where I can basically for a few months have access to like a stage so I can create like my live show. And I could do it at home, but it's like, I already have drama with my neighbors, which I didn't tell you guys about, but of course I do. Hopefully it'll blow over, but basically I got in a screaming match with my male neighbor who's like super aggressive. And I sort of knew about him before because this girl used to live next door to me and she was like, beware of this neighbor because he has like a temper problem. And basically when I moved in, I was doing a lot of work on the apartment, and so I had to put this radiator right outside my door, but I live on the last floor and it doesn't bother anybody, you know, especially because the guy who like I got in a screaming match with, he always has shit outside of his door. So I was like, we're all like chill about it. And his wife stopped me the other day and she goes, you need to throw away that radiator because you're not allowed to have it. And I was already like in a shitty mood, and I went to the store, and when I got back I was like, no, we're not doing this. And I feel like this always happens with me, especially like as an Aquarius. I am chill, but I really care about justice, and I hate hypocrites. Like, if the rules are the rules, that's fine, but don't tell me I can't have stuff outside my door. So I took the radiator downstairs, and then I was outside of their door where they have like their stroller and like all this shit. And the lady opens the door, and I was like, so why can you have all this stuff, but then I have to take my stuff down? And basically her husband came out, and he's like, you fucking bitch, like, we got in this screaming match. And one thing about me is, like I said, I'm calm, but when I go off, I like go off. And I was like, he was basically like, I'm gonna take this radiator and throw it in your face. And I just wasn't expecting it because it went from like 0 to 100. And and I just got really pissed, and I was like, what are you gonna do about it? And then I walked upstairs, and he took the radiator and he like threw it against my door. And I grew up like in an environment where it's like, it was kind of like the wild west, in the sense of like my mom and dad both worked, and so me and my brother and sister were left at home a lot alone together. And so like, you know, my brother being stronger than me, when we get in fights, the only way that I could win was by guerrilla warfare. So for example, like if we get in a fight, he was stronger than me. Like if I was watching a TV show and he wanted to watch something else, he would just take the remote away, and he's like stronger than me and there's nothing I could do. But the way that I would get back at him is I would like leave a banana under his pillow, or like that he wouldn't find for months, or I don't know. Anyway, all this to say that like when he did that with the radiator, I went inside and I wrote on a piece of paper, Ceci est une poussette, which means this is a stroller. And I taped it on the radiator because he always has his stroller and all that shit outside of his door. And yeah, afterwards I was talking to some friends about it, and they're like, aren't you afraid that he was gonna get violent with you? And I honestly feel like I'm just so done being a young girl in this world, afraid of like men who can't control their temper, you know? Because here's the thing, is like I don't like the fact that the way that I interact with men is different because I'm afraid they're gonna be violent with me, you know? So I want to be able to stand up for myself without being afraid that I'm gonna get punched in the face. And he's just upset because c'est moi le nouveau chef ici. I'm the new bitch here. I'm the new bitch in town. I don't know, I guess maybe I should be like a little bit more wary. I probably could have handled that better, but I'm just so over like being walked on by men who have like a aggressive issues, you know? Like, I'm not gonna hit you, you're not gonna hit me, we can scream at each other, but don't tell me you're gonna be violent with me, you know? Anyway, it hasn't like ruined anything for me though. Like, I'm pretty chill about it. You know what the thing is it's kind of fucked up too, is I kind of think it's funny, you know? I'm like stirring the pot, but I need to stop because, yeah, maybe I need to be smarter. I don't know. I think the thing is as well is like, when you grow up, I think, and you learn to like be an independent bitch and fend for yourself, like there's no way, like I'd rather be punched in the face and then stand up for myself than be walked over by some stupid couple. Also, I think getting that French citizenship did something to me where I'm just like, you guys can't make me leave now, you know? Anyway, let me know as well if you guys also have like a problem with authority. I don't even know where it comes from. It's crazy. It's like, as long as I can remember, it's like when someone tells me what to do, it sparks like this weird fire in me that I don't have otherwise. It's like, I think it's the justice thing, you know? And that's why I'm so glad that I work alone. That's why I'm so glad that, you know, I honestly was miserable when I was working for other people, no matter what the job was, whether I was like doing set design or whatever. Working with other people, it's like torture for me. I like to collaborate with other people, but I need to be myself. So I don't know, there might be some antisocial tendencies there. But I just think that some of us work better when we have freedom, and some of us live better when we have freedom, which is why I will never live with somebody else again. Someone asked me that the other day. They're like, are you gonna move in with your boyfriend ever? No, I really think it's important for everyone to have their own space. At least for me, like I cannot live with another person again. Even like I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, before I got this apartment, I always thought that I never had people really over to my apartments because I thought that it was because my apartments were too small. But it's actually like I hate hosting. I hate hosting. I hate having people in my space. Like, I don't hate it, that's a strong word. Like, if I have a friend over, I'm excited like to have my friend over. But I don't have like having a lot of people in my apartment. One, because like, what if they don't leave? Like, what if they stay for like until like 1 a.m? Two, it's like I can't cook. I just feel like it's not fun to host people, where some people really like it. I just personally, I like to be a guest. Like my friend Jojo, she hosted this Thanksgiving dinner and it was so sweet, and it was like she had all these people in her apartment, and I think she enjoyed it. But like I was looking around and I was like, oh my god, this would be my personal hell if like having this many people over in my apartment, you know? I think as well it has to do with the fact that my workspace and my living space is the same. So it's like I have a lot of like unfinished paintings, or you know, my diaries are all over the place. Like I have this irrational fear that someone is gonna steal my diary. I don't know if you guys have ever had the experience of somebody reading your diary. This has happened to me many times in my life, and it just makes you feel like so violated. And it's always been people like really close to me. They're like, I have to tell you, like, I read your diary. I remember I had an ex once read my diary, and then he went out and bought himself a diary with a lock on it. And then he went and took this diary that he bought for himself and he threw it in a lake because he said that he felt bad about the things that he wrote. So what I did is I went scuba diving. No, just kidding. I didn't go get it. But I'm just like, you should have bought me a lock because you read my diary. Anyway, do you guys ever think about like what's gonna happen to your diaries after you die? And that sounds morbid, but like, I'm somebody that like I don't really filter myself. I'm sure I do a little bit, but like in my diaries I try not to filter myself because I really see it as like pouring out like the negative things too. And yeah, I guess whatever, they'll read what they read. But to be fair, I've also been a diary reader. Like growing up when I was like 7 or 8, my sister was like a really cool older sister. Like she would have like all these celebrity collages in her room. I know that doesn't sound like super cool, but like she was like the typical 90s teen where she had like that blow up couch from Claire's. She was like the prettiest girl in her class with like this long hair. I remember I used to show people a photo of my sister and they'd be like, your sister's so pretty. Like people would make me feel like she was prettier than me. But like, you know, that older sister that's just like, wow. But we had like enough of an age difference, like 5-6 years between us, where like we didn't really hang out when I was younger. Like when she was a teenager, like I was like 7 or 8. So I felt like I couldn't really get close to her world. And you know, she was a teenager, so like her door was always locked. Like she had her cool friends, and she could go places I couldn't go. And like my mom used to like take my sister and her friends out to go like teepee houses, and like she just had like a really cool teenage life. And so I remember like the only way that I could feel close to her was like by reading her diary. But in fairness, I was 8 or 9. So it's like when you're like a little kid, you get like a pass, not when you're like a 20-year-old guy reading your girlfriend's diary. So yeah, we're not together anymore. Anyway, I guess I'm just like chatty today. Am I in focus? Okay, love you.
That concludes this week's vlog. I feel like it's kind of an abrupt ending. But you guys said in my last video in the comments that you enjoy just like very chill sit down videos, and I think that it also allows me to post more often. I know for me personally, I just watch people because I want to feel a connection with them, and so yeah, I hope that this little chat was interesting for you. So anyway, I hope that everyone has a really good week. I am heading to Florida, so I will be posting while I'm there. I'm trying to post every Tuesday, so I will see you guys next week, as well as don't forget, if you're interested in getting a beautiful journal designed by yours truly, you can check that out in the link down below. So thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful week.